With or without a renewal, couple to throuple isn't ending. Not really. Peacock's reality dating show for the poly-curious concluded its inaugural experiment this week, with its unconventional cast wrapping up their first attempts at non-monogamy in an emotional Season 1 finale that debuted Thursday, February 29th. Following 10 weeks of chaotic, third swapping at an idyllic resort in Panama City, the starring couples and the sexy singles they dated made only the vaguest plans for their post-show futures. Instead, the subjects spent most of the episode better defining their relationship goals and tearily saying goodbye to their myriad exes. Per the obligatory Where Are They Now epilogue, just one triad was still romantically involved come showtime. That might feel like the final resting place for a freshman series in a sea of shows stuck in development limbo. NBC has yet to comment on the future production plans for Couple to Throuple. But when cast members and producers joined press and influencers to watch the show's last episode live at Rocco's in West Hollywood, the de facto reunion revealed a vibrant and increasingly complex queer community emerging from unscripted TV. Flirty and frenzied, the event primarily consisted of castmates yelling to each other over the bar's subtitled screens and reconnecting as if not only the show, but they would be returning to Peacock any day. With no network-mandated proposal punctuating Season 1, why not? It's a fluid experience, and a lot of people don't realize that, Dr. Shamira Howard told IndieWire on the night. With the finale, some fans are looking for this climactic ending. Did they, or didn't they? But the purpose of this show wasn't specifically for people to leave as a throuple. It was to see if people who are coming in with monogamous values can incorporate non-monogamy into their lives. The sex and relationships expert, who has a doctorate in social work and is a licensed sexologist, facilitated much of the series' approach to open relationships. That structure has been praised and heavily criticized by various voices in E&M, that's ethical non-monogamy, and representatives for Peacock declined to comment on claims that the show portrays polyamory in an actively harmful light. But even Howard admits that she was hesitant to take on the show, given how easy it is to exploit E&M communities. This is not a documentary on polyamory, she said, but it is a conversation starter. Howard cites close collaboration with executive producers Matthew Cox, Katie Fox, and Tom O'Brien among others in crafting what she defends as an authentic and well-intentioned proof of concept. She co-hosted the finale event with series host Scott Evans, who in the same conversation told IndieWire, "This is a format that's never really been done before. Do I know or think that every experience in every single way was perfect? No. Do I believe that this is a worthwhile first step in a genre of shows we've never really seen? Absolutely." Neil McNeil, a scripted television writer, Pretty Little Liars, Original Sin, Katie Keene, and a queer reality fan who was at the watch party, described a distinct joy seeing their specific dating experience reflected on screen. Having exited a multi-partnered relationship some months back, McNeil discovered that Couple to Throuple facilitated important conversations around poly representation in his life, as well as offered silly but still reasonably complex entertainment that was authentic to his understanding of polyamory's many intricacies. It means a lot to me that shows like this exist because it's allowing that conversation to be bridged between someone like me and my mother, who is a 67-year-old Italian woman living in New York, McNeil said. The fact that we now have a show dealing with poly-straight, queer, and bisexual relationships is unheard of. There were so many different dynamics in this show that just have not been explored on TV. Raising the bar set by the pansexual season of Are You the One and the bisexual season of The Australian Bachelorette, as well as a handful of other comparable dating shows, Couple to Throuple, centers the people rejecting monogamy at an increasingly noticeable rate. Some studies purport a statistical uptick in open partnerships post-pandemic, hat-tip The New Yorker, and intentionally or not, Hollywood has portrayed those types of relationships with more frequency as of late. Just take Luca Guadagnino's Challengers, starring Zendaya as a former tennis pro navigating an ex-triad mid-championship. It's hitting theaters after significant strike-related delays on April 26th and is anticipated to do serious numbers at the box office. This was the first episode one was watching of Couple to Throuple. And I joked to my now partner that I think I would have done a lot better on this show, Vanessa Papa told IndieWire at Rocco's. Queer people have appeared on more dating shows since the dawn of the streaming wars spurred studio investment in LGBTQ viewership, to a point, and Papa was a pivotal figure on Netflix's The Ultimatum, Queer Love. An even more intense riff on the OL, wife swap formula The streaming series tasked Not Quite Engaged, she slashed they couples with temporarily severing their commitments to longtime partners to instead explore new matches. Then, everyone had to switch back and choose who to marry? Papa has spoken about her experience with some regularity on social media. She's a self-described target of the notorious villain edit and recalls her time navigating lesbian spaces after the show as resolutely horrible. Caught in a perceived love triangle that took on a life of its own, and later criticized for not taking the pseudo-therapeutic process seriously, Papa blames the show's rigid structure for her poor experience in part. It's worth noting the overly intense franchise was made popular at Netflix in 2022, with straight couples starring under the not at all subtle moniker of The Ultimatum, marry or move on. To me, what felt so icky about The Ultimatum was that there were these people who were saying, I want to commit to my partner. I want to marry them. I'm ready. And then they so quickly turned into forgetting who their partner was, Papa said. The reality personality told IndieWire she was under the impression that the flirty cohabitation with strangers angle the show centered on would be used to contextualize and strengthen existing partnerships, not destabilize them. Couple to throuple is a completely different thing because it respects the established couples, and then you have the singles, and the single is not someone leaving a couple, Papa said. That makes so much more sense to me, and I think it's a healthier structure than what I experienced. Papa was mistaken for a couple to throuple cast member at least once at the bar, and cheered particularly loudly when actual cast member Britton Babe used the show as a platform to come out as bisexual.